Howdy there guys and welcome back to Edgar TV, where I'm going to tell you the story so far before the World Darts Championship kicks off with the business end and we get into the deciding side of the tournament where we see who will be the world champion. I'm going to remind you of those stories because it's not just all about who's going to lift the world championship. The world championship has plenty of other little mini stories and battles along the way. Let's just recap our mind of those that we've seen so far, such as the tour card situation. There are players that come to the world championship looking for a win or 2 wins in order to keep hold of their PDC tour card, and the following players have not been able to do so. That is Marian van den Boogaard, Radak Skagansky, Connor Scott, Rusty Jake Rodriguez, Jules Van Dongen, Christoph Kachuk, Darren Webster and Steve Lennon. I've left Steve Lennon till last for a reason. That reason is he is still below Martijn Kleermaker and below Adrian Lewis. Now, we know the situation regarding to those players, that they're not sure whether they're going to keep hold of those PDC tour cards or if they're going to be giving them back. If they do give them back, that will drop down 1 place in the rankings, which will go to Steve Lennon. The next player in line will be Marian van den Boogaard. So still a chance and opportunity for those players to keep them, but it will depend on the decision of Lewis and Kleermaker come January. Now, from the reports and the news articles we've seen, Kleermaker will be giving it back. Lewis, I think, will keep it. However, there's no guarantee when it comes around to January that Kleermaker will follow through with that. He might just go, do you know what, I'll keep hold of it for another year and go when I can. So there's no guarantee in regards to that position. Position as well, we've had this debate in the past. Should there be 3 women now in the World Championship? There was last year. Should that be a thing continuing? I'm going to say I don't agree. I think 2 is plenty. Reason being, other than Fallon Sherrick, no female player has ever won a game at the World Championship, and that only came that 1 year. This year as well further backs up that statement. Fallon Sherrick going out 3-1 to Jermaine Watamena, while Partretsko took out Mikuru Suzuki 3-0. That means between the 2 female players they only picked up 1 set, Fallon averaging 87, Mikuru averaging 78. There's still that big difference between the 2 in between of the gender specific sport, and I just don't think we need to increase that by 50% right now. So my personal stance is keep it how it is, but that's a debate for going forward, and I reckon it's going to be in place where we have 3 again next year. It was only because Bo Greaves refused her place to go play Lakeside. Now, had Bo Greaves played in this event, would we be having a different conversation? Would we be talking about a female player that's won on the Alexandra Palace stage? Then she lost to William O'Connor last year. We're talking players that are between 32 and 64 in the rankings, and there's a big gulf that is clear to see. So, personal stance, story so far is just further backing up that it needs to stay how it is, rather than increasing the amount of players that we see. And maybe we need to increase the amount of players and access that the women get to things like the match play. Maybe increase that up to 12 players, for example. Shocks. A few shocks in this event so far. The biggest one of the first round, though, was Gian van Veen going out. The 1-25 favourite lost to Asia's Manlok Lung. That was the biggest surprise of the opening round. In round 2, we've had plenty more shocks and surprises. We lost 2 major champions this year. The European champion Peter Wright going out to Jim Williams, and Ricky Evans taking out the world match play champion in Nathan Aspinall. Josh Rock, a player who has got a lot of attention. He was one of the favourites going into this event. He's gone out in the opening round, potentially stalling a little bit from the early promise. He went out to Berry Van Peer, who stays in the event and is in the last 32 on debut. My ones to watch before the event started, Stephen Bunting and Daryl Gurney. I've been flagging these 2 up all year as potential for most events. Daryl Gurney having his best season since when he was winning major titles, Stephen Bunting playing the best darts of his life, and those 2 still in the tournament. The issue for those guys, though, they are in the half with Van Gerwen and Luke Humphries, so that is where it's going to get a little bit trickier. We had a debutant, a 16-year-old debutant that I warned you about. I told you how good this guy was. I've told you all year long. This guy is the real deal. Luke Littler broke the record for the best debutant average. If you do want to check out my video which I've done on the best debutant averages, it's available on TikTok, believe it or not. Edgar TV 08, head over there, drop a subscribe on there as well. 106 average for Luke Littler in his opening game victory when he beat Christian Kist. Then he followed it up with a 3-1 win over Andrew Gilding. Now, I said before a dart was thrown, Luke Littler will beat Jim Williams in the last 16 to get into the quarterfinals. Read the comment section of that video. I was called an absolute madman for predicting that. It's on. Jim Williams plays Barneveld. Luke Littler plays Matt Campbell. If they both win that game, that last 16 fixture will be happening. And, oh, trust me, I'm going back to that video. And if you're one of the people that put a comment in there, I'd be deleting it now, because you're going to be getting a response to my reaction. Because I got bombarded with messages. Oh, you're a madman. Oh, you don't know what you're on about. Well, we may be seeing. I'm happy enough to say I'm close enough as it is, compared to what those comments were. Dirk van Dijvenbode continues to struggle with injury. He played a lot better in this game, but I've got concerns for him moving forward, absolutely. Biggest surprise of the tournament so far, the biggest outsider that's still in this event, I would say, is Jeffrey de Graaf. Now, we know Jeffrey de Graaf is a good player, but he came into this on bad form of what he's shown at the Modus Super Series. I thought he was going to struggle in this event. He wasn't the favourite to beat Richie Edhouse. He was a leg away from losing the match, completely turned it around and beat the 2-5 favourite. Then he went and beat Jose de Souza, who I keep saying he's going to go out the top 32 at the earliest opportunity. This result didn't help him. Jose de Souza going out to Jeffrey de Graaf. Jeffrey de Graaf still in the tournament, but takes on Rob Cross, a completely different prospect, a man in form, and a man who's just going to potentially see him out the tournament. But £25,000, good payday for Jeffrey de Graaf, and that really might get Jeffrey de Graaf thinking about, going back to Q School rather than playing just purely on that Scandinavian tour, which he does now relocated to Sweden. So they are some of the key stories and talking points so far of this year's World Championships. What stands out for you? Please do let me know down in the comment section. What's the story that you've enjoyed the most? Is there anything you think I've missed that really should have been in this video? Let's talk about it down below in the comments. On your way down there, make sure you are subscribed, hit the like, and I'll catch you soon with some more Edgar TV.